Hi everyone, day 3. Thanks for everybody that submitted feedback. A lot of good positive comments, people giving me suggestions on what we want to do for future lessons. So really excited about putting stuff together for that. Also some comments that were in regards to my delivery, saying it needs work, saying I say too much. I've now focused on that and I think it's worse. This is take probably 15 today. What you'll have to do is just create a little game if you want. Drinking game, you can watch it later on tonight. Every time I say take a sip, you'll be good and lubed by the end of it. We've got the new Northern Spy gear on, so we're really excited about that. Today we're going to get into footwork. So footwork really is what your legs need to be doing in the backswing to set up proper rotation, and really what they need to be doing in the downswing to make sure that you're maximizing distance. So we talk about club head speed. The reason that your driver is faster club head speed than your irons is because of the length of the golf club. And the head, because it's further away from your body, moves quicker than it does in the shorter clubs where it's closer to your body. It's centripetal acceleration, centripetal force. And basically, because the object is connected to the moving piece, it needs to move faster to cover more surface area. So what that really speaks to is that club head speed, a lot of people think it's generated with your hands, with your arms, snapping the club down at the bottom. And while that is true, the proximity of your arms and hands and the weakness in those muscle groups, it does not translate to as much club head speed as core movements do. So when we talk about speed, movements in here in our core translate 8 times at the head. So small movements in here, that's where we create speed. That's what we're going to do today. So we talk about what the legs need to be doing in takeaway. So a couple of the flaws that I see, people will get into their, move this every day. People will get into their setup position, get into a nice posture, and immediately off the ball, they will start to shift, right? So when we shift our weight, that knee gets down and in, this hip will start to slide. We can't rotate anymore. And what happens is we start to move laterally, we start to move vertically. All of those things need to be replicated on the way back down, and it doesn't translate, it makes the golf swing more difficult. It doesn't translate to a good golf swing. So the other thing that I'll see a lot with people is that they'll snap straight. Okay, so when we take that club back, we snap straight. When that happens, it also prohibits turn in the right hip, and it'll get yourself to dip on the way back. Another thing that's really difficult to recreate on the way down and move properly. And then the third thing that I see a lot is that people, they get on their toes. So they take that club away, they get on their toes. When that happens, it also saps rotation. You end up coming out of posture. Again, not real terrific. I think one of the biggest misnomers is that people don't understand that when you rotate, you're moving inside and vertical. And when that happens, that weight is moving this way, almost like you're paddling a boat. And when that happens, you should be on your heels. You should be transitioning your weight towards your heels. If you do that, that will allow you to turn, and that's really good. So big drill, big thing that I'd like to see out of people is really the retention in the width of the knees and the legs on the way back. So when I get set up, I turn around and I take that club away. You'll notice that my width here between my knees has stayed the same. Something you can do drill-wise in regards to that would be to get like a beach ball or a ball of some nature, put it in between your knees. You can take your belt off, wrap it around your knees. Anything that really mimics the retention of that width and the retention of your knee angle. okay? If we change the width and we change our knee angle, it's gonna be really difficult for us to use our lower body properly on the way through. Okay, so we maintain those two areas. We maintain our knee bend, we maintain our width, and what'll happen now is you've got a fixed lower end where you can rotate around and create rotating differentials, right? So your upper body is the most rotated, your hips are slightly rotated, and really from your knees down, you've stayed still. In that scenario, it sets up everything to use your lower half on the way through impact. So you'll see a lot of guys right now on tour that are kind of working, you know, on creating more power and drills to do it. The key is making sure that you move your lower half to your target and then using the ground to explode off of it. So what it looks like, if we can retain properly on the way back, is we get in this position, and really what we want to do from here is we want to turn, and explode. Okay, if we do that, you're going to create the maximum amount of power that you can create in your golf swing. Certain people, certain age brackets, certain physical history, demographics, they may think that they don't have the ability to turn or rotate. You don't have to have the largest range of rotation on the planet. You just have to be able to create some differentials, get your upper half behind your lower half, and get your lower half to move towards the target. What I see a lot for people with their lower half and why they shut it down is that it doesn't move properly. So when I say it doesn't move properly is, in order for this to work, I have to get my belt buckle to my target. If I don't get my belt buckle to my target, what tends to happen is what they call early extension. So your hips don't rotate and you end up pushing and exploding off the ground in a scenario where you're going at the golf ball. When that happens, you'll see immediately I lose posture, I have no space to swing the golf club, and it's gonna be all arms and hands through impact, so you're not gonna be powerful in that situation. So a drill that I will use, we put a alignment rod kind of where our butt is. Come on. And if we can keep our rear end on that and really work on turning around the alignment rod rather than working off of it, it'll give you a frame of reference in really how your hips are working. Because what we want is we want this right hip for a right-handed golfer, this right hip and this right knee to go towards our target. Okay, you're hitting the ball there, you have to move there. If you don't move there, the club's gonna bypass your body, you're gonna swing the club with your arms and hands, and you're not gonna be successful. Okay, another drill that you can do, you can take the alignment rod, slide it through your belt loops, leave a little bit of slack on the right-hand side, most of the slack on the left-hand side. I don't know if I'm still in view, but get against the wall. Try and do it further up here. Get against the wall and make sure that this alignment rod hits first, okay? That'll really tell you that your front hip's getting out of the way, and really what that does is that pulls that back hip, that right knee right down your target line. I mean, in a perfect world, everyone gets out of posture. It's just when they get out of posture. You need to get out of posture after you've hit the golf ball, not before you've hit the golf ball, okay? So when you finish, your hips should be on top of your front leg. Your belt buckle and your belly button should be pointed at your target. If you hit golf balls, check yourself after you're finished. When you look at yourself, I think you'll notice that for a lot of people, their belt buckle, their belly button are still pointed at the golf ball, maybe slightly left of the golf ball. They haven't gotten through the golf ball. They haven't gotten to their target. So that's what we worked on today. It's footwork, making sure that we restrict properly on the way back, making sure that we move properly on the way through. If done, there is a ton of power that can be gained there. It's the most powerful, it's the strongest group of your body. Tomorrow, we're gonna work on chipping. A lot of people gave some feedback that chipping was what they wanted to work on. So work on chipping tomorrow. Friday, as promised, we'll go through your bag, we'll talk about club fitting, and then we'll break into some more specific stuff next week. So Enjoy your month-long hiatus. Hopefully mass golf in the state will allow us to play a little bit sooner than that. I know it's frustrating, but stay positive, have fun, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.